What's going on, everyone? Darkwater here, and welcome back to our Planet Coaster, our Halloween build. Do a lot of work on the swamp area, get that kind of taken care of. Start off by doing a little bit more work in the center here. Got the island. Probably do a little bit more fine tuning, and eventually I'll even figure out what I'm going to put on that island. Looking at some kind of possible just center statue icon-esque kind of thing. But I spend quite a lot of time fighting with pathing and getting bridges to go over water. I could raise it, but I feel then it's just really, really high. I know there have been complaints about pathing in the past on other people's videos, and I know pathing can be kind of an issue. We do get some shops in. I do believe I've got the park open right now, so there are some people wandering around, which I wanted to have so I can make sure that this area is actually going to be able to work. People will be able to actually walk through this area because we do this deck right here. Get some seating out there, similar to, again, like the Blue Bayou in Disneyland, kind of bordering on the Pirates of the Caribbean, so you can actually just kind of hang out and watch people enjoy the ride. And then here we put a couple benches out there just to make sure people can access them. And yeah, see, people are using them. We're good. And then we delete them promptly. So I've got 9 benches out here. Do custom work on the perimeter of this, which takes a little bit of time. And then wanted to do kind of a custom flooring. I like the wood look there initially. However, as I started to do it all the way across, it just started looking. It just didn't have the feel and look of what I wanted. And yeah, just no matter what I did, it just didn't feel right. So searching through, end up finding some wooden ceilings actually that I do like, these here. And so we go and put 9 of these in, and it looks all right. I wish it were a little bit darker, but I'm okay with what it is. Then go through and put a border around it, and then some supports in the water, and then some railing support so people just don't go falling in. That staff room that I just put down does move. I've actually moved it since this video. Um, I will have to add it in somewhere. Just not entirely sure where I'm going to put it just yet. Still kind of fleshing out a few more ideas in my head on where things are going to end up going. But again, I get the swamp done, and we will take a walk around in just a little bit once we get through the build portion. I was going to do basically uh, custom railings, and then I saw the haunted house railings, which I thought were pretty good, and I did like those, and so I ended up putting those in, lowering all these supports into the water, so at least the deck has something to support it. I was looking at the metal ones, decided against it, ended up going with the wooden those here, the wooden haunted house railings. So drop all the supports down, get the railings in place, move the supports again. So it was more of a production than I wanted it to be, but it turns out nice. I like the way it ended up looking. Had to do a little bit of tweaking here just to make sure that everything lines up. I do have a fence that runs around the walkway to this area, and I started putting the berm in. That's going to be kind of the outer wall or outer fence, if you will. And I got that in. I didn't film it. A lot of it's just it took a lot longer than I wanted it to, quite frankly, and I wasn't entirely it wasn't that thrilling as I was doing it, and I can't imagine watching it would be much thrilling either. But we do get some lights out here as well, which lights it up very nicely. I add a second flat ride in at the very end. Haven't done anything with it. I will probably do a cover over it, but not entirely sure with what. Um, do put a building on this. Again, the first true formal building other than the main entrance, which I do have some ideas on. As I was building this, I was getting a little bit more familiar with a lot of the pieces and getting a lot more ideas on what I could do at that front gate. Um, but just becoming familiar with a lot of the way the building pieces themselves work, I think will it's just going to be one of those things that it's just going to take time and practice. I added the roof there, did not like it. I end up ripping that out and putting a second floor on it. There's a bathroom down there on the right side that on this closest to you. That's what that the last piece is. Um, but yeah, I just didn't like the look of that. So I end up just taking that out, putting a second floor, putting more traditional roof on it. I recolored it, but you have to recolor each of those pieces individually, as far as I can tell. So took a little bit more doing than I wanted to whenever I was doing the initial build. But we do just a kind of angled roof on it. Get the trim pieces on there. Gets a couple windows on the front. They're illuminated with curtains, but there are a lot of window choices, and so I tried to stick with the spooky theme on them. Don't know if there is any effects within any of those window pieces because it says that they're illuminated with curtains, but I don't know if there's necessarily any like with any kind of ghosts or anything within there. Also, taking a look, trying to find awnings was a. There's not really an awning that fits this particular build construction style, I guess. I do have a balcony on here. Admittedly, looks a little odd, but I think it's okay. But the awnings, it just wasn't feeling any of them really. But yeah, it's got different images and stuff that you can put on the doors and the windows to enhance it a little bit. We might mess around with that. We'll see. I do a wooden trim around the bottom. I might go back and extend that wooden trim vertically as well, but we'll see on that. But just to give it a little bit more texture, maybe that's the word I want to use. Um, we add this all the way around the bottom. I do put a door right here on the corner so that staff could potentially, get access to their working area. And then from there, we go through and we start doing some foliage work as well as just kind of finishing off the swamp area on the other side. Here's me looking for awnings, which, yeah, just going through them, there wasn't really one that really spoke to me. I was looking at potentially using the roof pieces, but they were just too big. Settled on this one, which I think works. The shingle color is still different than the other one. Add a couple windows here. Once I actually connect them to the building. And add the door in there for the staff. But of course, there's not really any shorter pieces of wood than that one there. So I had to fight a little bit with it just to make it look, I don't know, reasonable, but I think it does an okay job right there. But need to finish up that little corner there with some foliage. So there'll be little places to add in odds and ends to get that taken care of. Trying to figure out lighting. I went back to the same lighting that's on the ride queue, just for consistency. Throw some trash cans over there too, because people are just leaving trash everywhere. So yeah, it's taking a look to see if we could change the lighting on it, but I didn't get it to work. So, but just taking a look at it at night, and then we start adding in some of the foliage around. There is that one support underneath the front left of the dock that I did leave on. So I kind of shove a bush or two under there, just kind of cover it up the best that we could. I might go back and add in some of the fireflies and kind of in that area just to make it a little bit give it a little bit more I don't even know the word I want. Just a little bit more ambiance. There we go. That'll work. So we connect this path up back to the main loop. As you'll see in a second, this is just going to be a small park with a loop around, a couple flat rides, the roller coaster coming. But we grab the wood and we just kind of finish off the other side here, add bushes on this side, and do some more foliage work in the front corner. But yeah, because this is only going to be kind of a 5 week build, it's going to be a fairly small park. So the main areas that I want to hit still is going to be the coaster. That's probably going to be a episode of itself. It will be the coaster build, which I might even build off camera. We will see on that. Haven't built a coaster in this game yet, so I'm not entirely sure how well that's going to go. I want to do kind of a Haunted Mansion-esque haunted house, and then from there, probably just a couple flat rides and just kind of finish everything off. Probably another section for food and drink. But that's probably going to be it. Maybe a couple more flat rides that we can theme the queue areas and possibly do a cover to get it a little bit more in the spooky motif. Still wish there was darker green bushes, but we do with what we've got. Again, if you guys have any tips, tricks, hints, suggestions, go ahead and drop them in the comments. I will definitely take a look at them, because this is the first major build that I've done anything in Planet Coaster. So uh, hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Do a little bit of rock work here in the front left. This is where the sign for the ride's going to go. As soon as I decide on what sign I'm going to actually use, I'm just going to put the ride sign on those rocks. So here's the second flat ride that we're going to be adding in. Probably do some kind of, I'm thinking, castle-y cover. Some kind of worn down, broken down castle. Um, so here we start transitioning from the swamp into just regular kind of foresty trees. Get the spooky tree there on the corner. But that's about all we get done right now. So I'll go ahead and jump over to the live game. We'll take a quick walk around. And here we are. Do have it in night mode again, just because, again, I really like the ambiance. So here we've got a bridge. Got to put rails on the side of the bridge and do a little bit of work on this corner. Haven't touched the main entrance yet. Um, we'll do a circle this way. So here we've got the berm, and there's going to be some foliage on the right-hand side over here. But we've got this custom-built fencing all the way around. Got plenty of lighting on here. Make sure everybody's safe. Probably added in some benches. Did a little bit of testing with some of the benches here. We'll do some benches and trash cans through there. We've got our bathrooms over here on the side. Going to do a little bit of work here on the corner. Yeah, there's a lot of overflowing bins, I know. So we've got the bathrooms. And then you've got a couple different restaurants. We've got the Churro, Gulpy, and we've got some pizza down here as well. And we've got this nice little pier area that you can sit. You can have yourself some food, and you can watch the ride. Might clear up these trees a little bit so you got a little bit clearer view. In fact, we might even do that now. We just slide you ever so slightly to the right, and then we will slide ever so slightly to the left. There we go. You got a little bit more of a straightforward view on the ride there. Got some people over there enjoying it. But I like how the pier area turned out, with the exception of the trash over here on the side. Then come across, we've got another nice view of the ride. We'll get some safety railings here as well. And a little bit of a transition here from the swamp into just some regular kind of forested area. Do some landscaping down below. There are some trees and shrubs in there, and then really start to work on the area over here. We've got the elixir machine over here. People seem to be having a good time with that. And you come around, you got the spooky tree here on the corner. And again, got our ride right here at the front. So that's where we are right now. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the series. Again, questions, comments, drop them in the comments down below. Suggestions down there. We've got our main fancy little island here. We're going to do a statuesque kind of thing out there. A couple more flat rides in this area as we head over here to where coaster will be back over here. Kind of thinking it'll go a good distance back and down. And then as we keep coming around the side of the park, we will end up over on this side where our haunted house ride will be. There will be some more food and drinks over on this side as we head back to the main entrance. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate you guys for being here and look forward to seeing you guys again in Planet Coaster. And as always, I hope you guys have yourselves a fantastic day.